What's going on, guys? Thanks for tuning in to another Diego Discovers. We're in Penn Station right now, and we're about to meet Elgin Bolling. He does these insane caricature drawings of people on the subway without them knowing, sometimes with them knowing. So we're about to go meet him in a little bit, check out what he does. I'm hoping we can get some good content. I hope we don't get beat up on the train by photographing people. So let's find out what Elgin's all about. Elgin?
Yes, Diego?
Yeah.
How you doing?
It's so nice to finally meet you.
Yes.
I don't know if I think I told you when we were first talking that I saw you on the train.
When?
Doing this.
When?
You know, a few years ago.
Years ago.
And it always stuck in my mind because I remember seeing you sitting down with your paper and pen, and just within minutes you were able to create something super accurate.
Right.
And these people were shocked because you would hand it to them and they would be, you know, confused, excited, appreciative.
Right.
Why don't you tell me what
I do?
your favorite train to do this in?
Oh, my favorite train to do it in is the number 6 train, because it's a clean line. It's clean, you know, it's clean. It's not very congested, and the lighting is good. I mean, any artist needs good lighting. You know, it's more upscale. The people are more upbeat. You know, I find. It's just my personal opinion. You know.
All right, cool. So we're gonna head to the 6 train.
Right.
If that's what Elgin wants, Elgin's gonna get it.
Okay. That's good. Excuse me. Happy holidays.
Oh, wow.
Here you go.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Nice. Excellent. Thank you.
Why don't you tell me how you got into this?
Well,
How did you start, you know,
just did this whole drawing.
doodling? Yeah, I mean, you must have started
Well,
when you were
okay.
younger, or did you have, you know, a renaissance and you were
When I
older?
was 8 years old, I drew the cover of a book called Mother, These Are My Friends. You know, I don't know how, I had won a couple of competitions as a child, and this author, she found me, and she came to my house and she said, we'd like you to illustrate this book cover. I said, what do I draw? And she said, draw anything you want. So I drew my family, because what else is an 8-year-old going to draw? And after I finished, I handed it to her and I said $25. That was in
You started charging at 8 years old already?
I'm 57, so that was in 1968.
1968.
So 1968 for a kid to ask for $25, that was outrageous. So she laughed, and then, you know, a couple of months later, you know, I began getting royalty checks. Well, that's when I realized I can get paid for doing art. So I pretty much always did it, you know, no matter what type of job I was working. It's pretty much art was always in the background as a hobby. So I got a job with a newspaper, NYC Courier, where I was a graphic designer there, and I saw a ad for an entertainment company, which I did. You know, and then I approached it was having a party, an entertainment company, in Brooklyn. And so after I did the ad, I went to the store and I approached the owner and I said, have you ever used a caricature artist before? He said, what's that? So I drew him. And first thing he said, he looks at me and said, it doesn't look like me. Then he showed it to his son, and his son started laughing. And then he said, okay, you got the job. You know, so that was how the caricature started. His name is Kenley Dillard. We call him Kenley Disneyland Dillard because he worked at Disneyland, you know, and he also used to draw in the subways just like I did. We got to a point where we both were doing it together. You know, we'd sit together and we would just go, you know, and just, you know, draw people in the subway cars, and it was insane. You know, we got to the point also where when we would set up in this particular spot, the vendors would see us coming and they would become scared. because we would take all the customers. We had customers lined up even before we got to the space because they knew we were going to be there. Not just because we were caricature artists, it was that we put on a spectacle.
Right.
You know, we would talk to each other, we would make jokes. I would sing. I can't sing. You know, I would sing to the women.
How do you select who you're going to draw? What do you look for? You said it, you know, you want someone that's interesting.
Sometimes it's okay, yeah, because that's kind of vague. Sometimes they'll have an expression.
Right.
You know, whether it's mad, sad, something will stick out. Like they'll have incredibly large eyes,
Right.
or a big nose, or their face is long. It'll remind me of a specific shape.
Right.
You know, something comical. Wow, that person, they've got a face like a banana, the way the chin just comes out, or you know, something like that. When you give it to people, it's nice to receive something that you weren't looking for. You weren't looking for this. You know, maybe, I don't know what kind of day you're having. Maybe you're having a bad day. You know, maybe you're distracted with, you know, something, and somebody just does this thing to you, this nice thing, for no reason whatsoever. They're you know, not asking for any money. They're not asking for a photo shoot or something like that. They're just doing it because it's a nice thing. It's like when you first saw me.
Right.
I had a job making money doing it, so it's not like I needed to hustle people on the train, you know, to make a few dollars. I didn't need to do that. Caricature, you know, party caricature pays really well. It's one of the things I was attracted to it. I mean, it pays anywhere from on the low end, $75 an hour, to $200 an hour. You know, and party,
You gotta teach me.
Yeah,
Teach me real quick.
And parties, you know, last, you know, anywhere from 2 to 3 hours, you know, on the average, you know, and then you have seasons. And then, since New York is a Jewish town, you have bat mitzvahs, you have bar mitzvahs.
All kinds of parties.
Somebody's always turning 13. So you have that. You have graduations that come up. Every year, somebody's graduating. Every year, somebody's getting married. Every day, somebody's getting married.
So are you still actively
doing parties?
I'm
mostly doing now digital caricatures where people send me photos of themselves online and they want something digital. I find I can work better, you know, when it's slower.
Right.
I have a face, I can look at it, I can color it in, I can use all of my tools.
It's not
you know, and it's more satisfying.
face isn't moving. Yeah.
Oh yeah, nobody's moving too much. You know, I'm not drunk incognito because I'm not really satisfied with a lot of the faces that I draw on the train.
Right.
I mean, I like them, but you know, I know I can do it a lot better.
Of course.
That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it.
That's pretty good. It's the nose. I knew the nose was going to be good on paper.
Oh, I wanted to.
So do you use pictures of yourself when you, or you just know it from
No,
memory?
I know how ugly I am. so I pretty much draw it from memory, you know, and just really try to exaggerate it. Usually when I'm exaggerating it, like in these pictures, I'm not giving these away. These are just for personal studies. I mean, I still see faces, you know, on the train that I like, you know, and I try to push the envelope a little bit. When I give it to them, if I plan on giving it to them, I try to tone it down a little bit because people are sensitive, and sometimes if I draw it like really, really exaggerated, like in these, I want to keep them. So, yeah. Also,
And these are pencil.
yeah, those are pencil, yeah. So they take a lot of time to do. They take, you know, about an hour to do, you know, and nobody's going to, you know, I'm not going to be lucky enough for a person to sit that long, you know, on the subway. You know, usually they're going to be there, you know, about 5 minutes or 10 or maybe if you're very lucky 20 minutes, and then they're going to get off at their stop. And I mean, I had that happen today, as you can see. And some people, like this man here in Far Rockaway, I saw him twice, and the second time that I saw him, I stopped him on the street, you know, and I asked could I do his picture. I told him I saw you on the subway, and I noticed you had this great beard and mustache, and I'd really like to get that. And he was flattered enough to actually pose for that drawing. Basically, I did it to warm up for caricature gigs, like a baseball player, like a pitcher warms up in the bullpen, before a big game. So by the time I get to the gig, I'm all warmed up and ready to draw. This is an example of a digital one. At first I did the initial drawing, of this couple, and then I took it home and did it in this program called, what was it? Art Studio. That's the name of the app, Art Studio, for Mac. Yeah. Sometimes you see a face and it has really, really good shapes. Like this guy, he had a really prominent round forehead and he had his chin. But these are also examples of digital caricatures that I've done. These are all people that I did initial sketches of them in the subway and then transferred it to the Art Studio app and colored it in. So a lot of the work that I do now for people, for freelancing, it comes, from online. And this is usually what the result will look like.
Okay.
Thanks so much for taking the time to show us your talent and for the laughs and everything. It was incredible. I'm so glad you
Great.
gave us some time to explore that and see what that was all about.
Thank you.
It was amazing. It was
Thank you.
awesome. Yeah.
Can I give a plug?
Absolutely.
For email addresses and all that?
Yeah, of course.
If you want your own caricature done, you just contact me, Elgin Subway Surfer Bolling. Incidentally, I had that name before the game came out. Years before it came out. But you can Google Elgin Subway Surfer Bolling and go to Cartoons for You at AOL.com. That's the email. That's cartoons, the number 4, the letter U, the number 2 at AOL.com. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate it.
All right.